Oh, what's up, everybody? This is Dino Barrett from AdWordsNerds.com. How are you? I hope you're doing excellently. I'm making this quick video because I want to go over something that you need to know. If you've never seen this chart before, over here, right? Wherever it is on my screen. Man, you got to think about this. And I've been seeing this comes up all the time. And once you know about this kind of mental model, whatever you want to call it, and you start to look for it, you will see it everywhere, and you will see everywhere around you people making fundamentally flawed decisions, making fundamentally flawed assumptions, and making huge mistakes. Huge mistakes. We all do it. I do it. You do it. Everyone around you is doing it, and I'm going to tell you about it now. Now, if you've ever seen this chart, okay, this is a basic illustration of a statistical model, whatever you want to call it, that's called regression to the mean. Okay. Now, if you familiar with the regression to the mean, stay with me now because I'm going to connect it to real estate investing. If you're not, we're going to talk about it just real quick. Okay, so regression to the mean is basically discovered by this guy, Sir Francis Galton, and he was kind of like a polymath. He was studying like all sorts of things, including like heights and all these different things. And he noticed that what he expected to see in the statistics, he wasn't seeing. Right? So what he noticed was, like, let's say you have parents that are particularly tall. They're way taller than average. Well, he noticed that their kids were also tall, generally taller than average, but they were closer to the average than their parents. So he was like, that's not really what you'd expect, because generally at the time, the statistical model kind of predicted that there would be certain mistakes in all sorts of different directions and would kind of be random. And he didn't see them. Right. So what he then did was he sort of pursued this same kind of, to see if he could reproduce this data. He went and he actually studied peas, and he sort of bred peas for sweetness. And he noticed like the sweetest peas that he had, the offspring of those peas tended to also be sweeter than the average, but not as sweet as the parents on average. So what does this all mean? Basically, what can we take from this? Well, whenever you have a situation that is partially skill and partially luck. Okay, so partially skill, partially luck, you get this phenomenon called regression to the mean, right? If you have a performance, let's say it's a basketball game, and obviously you have sort of like your inherent skill in basketball, all the built up skills you've gotten from practicing and all the games you've done, yada yada yada. You've got your skill in basketball. That's kind of like your base rate. You're going to do a certain number of points or block shots during the game. But then you also have a luck component. Like, luck is a thing. It's a real thing. How you happen to feel that night, what you happen to eat, how the other team performs, right? And so your luck kind of pushes you above or below that kind of like base rate of your skill, right? So like, let's say my core skill, I'm just gonna make this up, is that I score 20 points a game. Well, on a particularly lucky night, maybe I score 30. And on a particularly unlucky night, maybe I score 10. All right. So whenever you go out, let's say I go out, and I have a really amazing performance for me. Remember, my base rate is 20 points for the game. Let's say I score 30. That's like really, really amazing for me, right? No, there's two components to that performance. There's the skill component and the luck component, right? So I have my skill component, which is like 20 points, and the luck component, which is about 10 points. Okay. Now, what do we predict for my next performance? Now, a lot of people think, well, he's going to do really good because now he's like super, he's super optimistic. He feels super good about himself. Maybe think he's like, he's going to do really poorly because, he did too well or whatever. But generally what happens is my performance is still probably pretty good, but it drifts closer to the average, the mean. This is regression to the mean. If you have a particularly outsized result, meaning particularly good or particularly bad, the next time you measure it, statistically, you are most likely to get closer to the average. Okay, so that's regression to the mean. You can kind of see it here in this chart, right? We have this chart here where it's like, okay, cool, I had a really great result, and it tends to kind of regress to the mean, and you sort of go below, and then it goes high, and then every time I go particularly low or particularly high, I become statistically more likely to get closer to the average the next time I measure it. What does this mean for you as a real estate investor? Two ways. I'm going to relate this to online marketing in two ways that you can actually use this today to profoundly change how you do your marketing. Two ways. One, Let's say you are testing a landing page. Okay, you've got your website. You want to test something different, so you make up a different carrot landing page or a different landing page. You change the banner, you change the logo or whatever. You roll it out, and you double your conversion rate. Your conversion rate literally doubles. Amazing. What is most likely to happen after that measurement? We had a particularly good measurement. Now it's possible that just the landing page is amazing and that's its like skill, but like sort of base rate, it's going to stay up there. It's possible. But if I had to bet, what I would bet is that that conversion rate is going to go down over time. It's going to go down over time. Why? It's nothing wrong with the page. It's nothing wrong with the traffic. It's because you're regressing towards a mean. Now, where are you going to stop? Where's that new mean? Who knows? I don't know. But the likelihood is that it's going to decline. Now, what ends up happening is that when people test new pages and they get a really great result, and they're like, oh, this is amazing. I like doubled my conversion rate. And then the next week they check and the conversion rate starts to go down. What they start to think is, there must be a problem with my traffic. There must be something happening to the market. There must be something else that I changed. What did I change? What did I change? And they start to get in there and tinker with things and you are trying to fix a problem that doesn't exist. Same exact principle here. Let's say you've been with an advertising agency, SEO person, any kind of marketing person, somebody doing your direct mail, whatever. You've been with this person for a long time and you're like, yeah, they do all right. But, I don't know what I'm missing. I don't know what else could be out there. And someone comes along and they say, hey, and they seduce you with some marketing. And you're like, cool. So you fire your old marketing person. You go with your new marketing person and bam, immediately marketing shoots up, marketing's through the roof. Everything looks amazing. Awesome. This person is great. My old person sucks. So what ends up happening, right, is like, okay, it's luck and skill. It's luck and skill. So what percentage of a skill? I'm sure the new person might be better. Could be legitimately better. But if I had to make a guess, what happens is your old person, they're kind of going along. And the reason you started thinking about replacing them was their skill level starts to go down. Well, not the skill level, but the results start to go down. So you start to think about replacing them. And then you get someone new and you do better, but this is just a regression to the mean. Not only is the new person a regression to the mean, the old person if you had just stayed with the old person, it's likely their performance would have started to regress to the mean too. You actually see this in financial managers. In these studies of financial managers, people actually said that, okay, so like companies that had a financial manager, they fired one, they hired a new one. Typically what they did was they hired someone who had amazing results. Well, what ended up happening? The person who had amazing results that they hired ended up regressing to the mean and underperforming. And the person they fired that was underperforming started to regress to the mean and actually perform better than the person that they hired. This is how you can fire an underperforming employee or agency or whatever and hire a rock star and get worse results than if you just stayed with the person you had. Now, I'm not saying this is always the case, but in any situation where you have skill and luck, regression to the mean applies. And marketing, my friends, is a combination of skill and luck. Think about it. Read about it. Regression to the mean. Let me know if this makes sense. Let me know if this was interesting. I'll talk to you soon. And just think twice before you react to either a particularly good or a particularly bad rating, score, marketing number, whatever you got. Better decisions. I'll talk to you guys later. Hope you're having a great night. Bye-bye.